The 2025 NFL Draft is less than a week away, so on today's show, we're going to be answering your questions that you ask us here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, whether it's about the upcoming 2025 NFL regular season, whether it's about the NFL Draft, or maybe even free agency. We're going to break down your comments, questions, concerns, opinions, and even hot takes. But before we hop into that, if you guys want the Patriots to crush the NFL Draft, I mean, when we look back on all 7 rounds, we think, damn, we really killed that. Go on ahead and like this video for me if you guys haven't already. Coming up with Kyle Rush and $10 super chat, and he said, why don't we make another Boston tight end party? You can take over after Hunter and Hooper, and then not only have 2 large targets, might trade down for Warren and take Ferguson. So a lot of you do want to trade the 4th pick and move down, which will primarily be around 8 to 12 if I had to guess our new pick would be, which of course is where NFL analysts are projecting that tight end from Penn State, Tyler Warren, will be. I think Tyler Warren is without a doubt the best pass catcher in the NFL Draft, and I have no problem if the Patriots do end up taking Warren, but they do really like Henry. I don't see Henry going anywhere for quite some time. Austin Hooper, they clearly like him because they just re-signed him and brought him back for another year. And we also do still have Jaheim Bell, who we picked up last year later in the rounds, which we really haven't seen anything from him over the last couple of seasons either. So I personally like Henry and Hooper, and I think that you kind of be wasting Tyler Warren's talent if you want to draft him and not really have a spot for him. But obviously, Warren, if you did pick him up, would immediately become one of your best tight ends in front of Henry or Hooper. It's just not what we need. So if we do trade down to pick 8 through 12, I'm still taking a guy like Armand Membo because I just don't think that the tight ends, the receivers, the running backs, they matter if you don't have a good offensive line. Another question coming in from Kyle Rush. Not in the top 3, but could we get Will Lampkins later in the 7th and convert him to fullback and destroy everyone? So I'm not going to front. I had no idea who Will Lampkins was. Not a freaking clue. Turns out he is from UNC, and he's actually a very, very sneaky sleeper that a lot of NFL draft analysts do actually want to see Lampkins turned into a fullback, which obviously we know that Mike Vrabel wants a fullback. He wants to bring that position back here to the New England Patriots. So overall, what the analysts had to say about Lampkin was very surprising. They said that he had one of the best film that they have seen of any NFL draft prospect. He's 5'10", 270 pounds, and he's actually listed as a center. So he can play fullback and tote the rock, but also play center. He's very good at blocking. He's very good at guarding as well, and he just seems like an absolute wall to try to get through, whether he's going to be deeper in the backfield or right there on that line of scrimmage. So I'm actually not opposed to this really interesting take here by Kyle Rush. I mean, the Patriots later in the 6th or 7th round wouldn't be surprised if they ended up taking a guy with a fullback type of caliber. King Ty coming in here. If Maye plays how Mac Jones played in his 2nd season, don't do that. Don't ever put that out in that world. Do we give up the same? One led us to the playoffs, had coaching changes, and it shifted. Alper, do you have any comments on this or comparisons to Mac Jones, or one led us to the playoffs, had coaching changes, and it shifted? I think we're shifting coaches for a better reason, though. I think it's a better shift in coaches.
So if we go back to Mac Jones, his first year, which was with Josh McDaniels, it looked really good. You led him to the playoffs, and then after that, it kind of collapsed. Not to mention you had Matt Patricia, a defensive-minded coach, as the offensive coordinator. It was a recipe just for failure. Mm-hmm. Not to mention Drake Maye was a top 5 pick. Mac Jones was way further back in the first round. Yeah. And you could see it right coming out the first year, just drafting him, the tape. The tape doesn't lie. And Drake Maye is a lot better than Mac Jones. I don't even see this comparing whatsoever.
I don't either. I do understand your concern because we are changing coaches. We just had a good-ish season with Drake Maye and the Patriots, but this is a much-needed shakeup, and it's not going from Bill Belichick to Gerard Mayo. This is an improvement in the coaching staff, and once again, the same way that we didn't compare them in the regular season, you just can't compare Drake Maye and Mac Jones just because they're close in age. They're just completely different quarterbacks. So If you guys want the Patriots to be successful this year, if you guys want the Patriots to go to the playoffs and hope the coaching changes are good, if you love the Patriots, go on ahead and like this video for me. If you guys haven't already, we just want to send good vibes out there, and we do not want a second coming of Mac Jones. Oh, my God. So go on ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me if you guys have not already. We do have plenty of more questions to get to here on our mailbag, but first I do want to go on ahead and tell you guys about the official ticketing partnership of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Game time. If you guys want to go see the Patriots play in Gillette Stadium later this year, you can do so by getting your tickets through Game Time. This is the only app I use to get my tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show, or maybe even the theater. Why? Because I know that I'm going to get lowest price guaranteed. I'm also going to get all-in pricing, which means no hidden fees at checkout, and you can save up to 60% off when you get last-minute ticket deals when you want to watch your favorite sporting event, concert, comedy show, or going to the theater. Pretty much any event that does require a ticket upon entry, Game Time has you covered. So if you guys want to go on ahead and check out the Boston Bruins, the Boston Red Sox, or maybe even the Boston Celtics in the NBA playoffs, go on ahead and do so today by downloading the Game Time app. Using a promo code ChatSports. This will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms do apply. Again, download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Go on ahead, download the Game Time app today. What time is it? It is game time. Old Man Mob, do you see the Patriots making any big draft day trades? I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. I clearly don't know. Could I see them making a trade? Yes, I could because of the situation that we are at with pick number 4. However, it really does sound like Mike Vrabel wants to build the trenches. He wants to give Drake Maye protection. I don't see why, unless there is a phenomenal trade at hand from the Jets, the Panthers, or the Saints, they would pass up on a guy like Will Campbell. Maybe if they want to go and try to get Armand Membo with like pick number 9, then maybe they could do that. But I do see a trade being possible, but I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell. So even Mike Vrabel said that's going to be a game time decision on whether or not they're going to trade down. If they do trade, expect it to be with pick number 4 if Carter and Hunter are off the board. Tony Stark's in here. What would be a good season of wins for Vrabel this year? 6, 7, probably. 7 obviously would be more of a winning season. And what Vrabel was able to do with the Tennessee Titans and Mason Rudolph there, obviously it was feasible. Or Will Levis, whoever the quarterback was. Mike Vrabel had success in Tennessee with not the best roster. So I would expect about 6 wins, 7 wins from a guy like Vrabel with how much they're doing to the defense and the offensive additions. I think that could be a pretty good standpoint for him. Alper, I know you may agree, disagree. How do we feel?
I think a successful season would be about probably 6 or 7 wins. But if you look at this Patriots schedule, specifically the home schedule, I know the dates haven't come out yet, but you know exactly who to be playing. You are playing the Browns, the Falcons, the Giants, the Jets, the Panthers, the Steelers, and the Raiders.
They're all boo-boo.
They're all terrible.
Yeah.
You're obviously the Bills. You're not going to.
And how many? That's just at home. How many home games? 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 home games, and they're all pretty much garbo teams. At least compared to the new Patriots roster. Yeah, I don't see how that's not 7. I don't see how that's not 6 out of 9 wins right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, just at home alone.
And then your away schedule is the Bengals. Obviously, you have your AFC East divisional opponents. The Bucks, the Saints, the Ravens, and the Titans.
I'll probably take 2 out of 5 wins there on the road against the Saints and the Ravens. So Saints and the Titans.
If you come out and you dominate at home and you win those 2 games on the road, that could be 8 wins right there in your first year with Mike Vrabel.
That's a really good point there. I don't know what the strength of schedule is compared to the rest of the NFL, but just hearing those teams alone, I truly think that the Patriots could be second in the AFC East this year with with the defense they've created and the offensive attributes that they are gaining, it could be a pretty good year to be a Patriots fan.
It could be a really good year.
King Ty coming in here. How would you feel if Prescott gets hurt and Milton kills it, since we know you hated that pick for us last year? Who hated that pick for us last year? I like the Joe Milton pick. I thought it was a really good attribute to Drake May's skill set. But here is what I'll say. I'll take this from Brett Alper. He's gone. He no longer has any effect on the New England Patriots to me. But I do want Joe Milton to thrive in the NFL. I do think that is a good area for him to develop under the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but if Prescott gets hurt, I do hope that Joe Milton kills it. I think Joe Milton has the skill set to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Just possibly, hey, look, I'll tell you what, Joe Milton with bazooka of an arm and CeeDee Lamb with his pass catching skills, that could actually be a very cool highlight reel to see. But obviously I don't wish injury on Prescott, but we have seen this before when Dak Prescott went down and then you had Andy Dalton go down, you had to watch Ben DiNucci highlights. So Joe Milton could absolutely get his spot in Dallas, and I do hope the best for him. Matthew, I compare Cam Skattebo to Derrick Henry, Allie. Don't ever compare anybody to my king. I love Derrick Henry. And I do not know if we're ever going to see another player like Derrick Henry, but I do understand what you're saying. He's a thick guy, very muscular. He runs with dominance. I mean, he just asserts dominance on the field. On the ground, in the air, I do think Cam Skattebo is going to be a good NFL quarterback for first couple of years for sure until, the NFL decides they don't want running backs anymore and any offense. My friend Pat, draft pundits have stated that Trey Harris may not be able to transition well to the NFL due to his lack of route running and not be able to separate from NFL's cornerbacks. What are your thoughts? I think that Trey Harris has an upper hand on a lot of these NFL quarterbacks that are sitting about 5'9" to about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". I think that his separation from the quarterbacks is up top. It's not in width. It's not here. It's not horizontal. It's vertical. That's how I envision Trey Harris making a lot of his big time plays is climbing the ladder. And I do think that we don't know how he's going to transition in the NFL. We have to see training camp, OTAs. I haven't even seen him go up against an NFL cornerback just yet. So from what I have seen from Ole Miss, he looks like he has a skill set for a guy like Josh McDaniels and for a guy like Mike Vrabel to take him to be an NFL type of wide receiver. But, there's going to be a lot of analysts out there that have a lot of negatives about a player and a lot of positives. You just have to wait and see until he plays. It's just one of those things. We drafted Jalen Polk last year, and he was a very good wide receiver on paper. It turns out when he got to the NFL, you're right, he didn't translate very well. Well, Ladd McConkey had a lot of negatives on paper. He translated really well to the NFL. So just going to have to depend. You're going to have to take a gamble. That's what the NFL draft is. Nobody knows. I mean, heck, if everybody knew, then, we'd be watching the world's greatest sport. You guys are ready for the 2025 NFL season? Go ahead and like this video. If you guys are tired of all the analysis, tired of the mock drafts, tired of the he said, she said, like I am, go on ahead and like this video. I'm just ready to play football. So go on ahead, hit that like button for me if you guys haven't already.